Hey everybody, and welcome to Robin's house. Today I'm showing you a technique that we use in the fresh paint card workshop. And this is one we have the stamp set that has one thin cut, one small thin cut this time, and it's to do this cassette tape. How cute is that? And we are embossing with heat embossing on black paper this time. So I just wanted to quickly remind you about about heat embossing and how quick and easy it is. But I'm going to need to use my fluffy. So make sure that it gets all the cracks in there. Okay, so the first thing you need is your tools. So you're going to need Versamark, which is basically a glue that helps your embossing powder stick. The other thing you ought to have is a pillow, an anti-static pillow, so that you can remove the static. This helps the excess embossing powder jump off the paper a little easier. And then you have the options of having a little tray to collect your powder, a little scoop, which is entirely unnecessary, but super cute and small. And then I like to have a little brush, and that helps me get the excess off also. So what we need to do is get our Versamark out and our cassette tape in here. And so we're going to get that on here without hopefully making you seasick. And then we'll go over here and that down on our die cut shape. Now for the embossing, if you don't have tweezers, this one's going to be kind of hard to pick up and heat. You're going to end up heating your fingers. So this might be one that you prefer to heat emboss first and then cut out with the thin cuts, but it's up to you. So this one has the message going 3 times down the message space. So I like to cover my Versamark before going forward with my powder. And we just take the lid off, and either with your scoop, just pouring, just add your embossing powder. And then as it falls off, I just like to do that and see. I don't know how this ended up on here, but this is the purpose of my brush. Just to get off that little bitty bit that has no business being on the paper. And then click it a couple times. And now we can pick up our cassette tape and pour some embossing powder on that. When you're doing your heat I didn't mention you also need to have a heater. So if you don't have a heater, it's not the end of the world. I have used a hairdryer before. I've also used an iron. When I use the iron, you come from below and slowly melt it from underneath, and that works just as well. And then we have our tweezers. Tweezers are nice, so you don't burn your fingers. You just put them in a small area. And then there are things that if your image doesn't come out very well, there's these embossing pens where you can add a little bit more line and then run it through with your powder again, and it's all good. So then we take our heat gun, and you start in one corner, and you slowly heat it until it starts to change. There, can you see it? Changing tone. And then you just work your way down the rest of it so you catch all of the edges. There you go. If you overheat it, it will burn, and it will, instead of being nice and fluffy, it will be flat and colorless. Not colorless, I mean, there'll be color there, but it will not be perfect. And then we do with the other one. Starting on one side. Waiting for it to heat up and then moving down the way. So that is great. So yeah, I did want to warn you that you can overheat it. And what happens is right now, you probably can't even tell, it is fluffy and it's literally embossed. You know, like when you buy the cards and there's the embossing on it, when you overheat it, it will turn flat and plain. So there we have our super cute tape deck and message. But I also, while we're here, I wanted to talk to you about black paper. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with black paper that you might not think of. So for the first thing, of course, is our gel pens. So they just show up so nicely on black cardstock. Of course, you can't see it in my camera. And then of course, the more you can go over it a little if you want to have it extra wide and extra bright. And then there's the metallic markers. Our metallic markers have a pointy side, and then it has a brush side. And then I don't know how my gold is. So it just pops right off the black. I just love working with black. And then of course there's also chalk markers. And those, well, that one's not good. Where's my other one? That one's good if you really want it to look like chalk. But how cute is that? Looks like you're writing it on a chalkboard. So anyway, those are many, many ways that you can create fun things on black cardstock. So let me know if that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting.